Welcome back to the CineFix Infotainment Network. This week, we're going all the way back to 1987 to take a look at what they thought 2018 would look like. It's time for your favorite show, The Running Man. I'm Clint Gage, and co-hosting this month, you know him, you love him. He was gone for a while, but now he's back, Casey Redman.
Hey, thanks, folks.
What brings you back, Casey?
Parking tickets. Got a load of unpaid parking tickets. Some guy showed up at my house, said a lot of stuff about my debt to society, and we've got your family, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm here to talk about Stephen King's 1982 novel, written under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. Hey, some Bachman fans.
So without further ado and no restraint on spoilers,
it's time to start running!
All right, hang on. The guys that have my family said I need to read this ad copy. Today's episode of What's the Difference is brought to you by chainsaws. No motorcycle is complete without a dangerous chainsaw.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the setting. Both the book and the movie take place in a dystopian near future. In the film, the global economy has collapsed and resources are scarce. America has become a police state, controlling every bit of information on television as well as censoring other forms of art.
Meanwhile, the book takes place in a similar dystopia. It's the year 2025, and income inequality has left a very wide gap between the haves and have-nots. There are even two different kinds of money: old bucks for the impoverished, and new dollars for the employable well-to-dos. Television comes exclusively through the freebie, and while it's a government mandate to have a freebie in your home, it's still legal to not watch it. Barely. The Compulsory Benefit Act of 2021 just missed the two-thirds majority to pass into law by 6 votes. By the way, this difference is brought to you by loud Hawaiian shirts. Stand out in a crowd, even if you don't want to.
Wonderful. So, moving on to our runner. In the movie, Ben Richards, as played by Arnold Schwarzenegger at his most Schwarzeneggery, is a former cop. The movie opens with Richards refusing to fire on a group of unarmed civilians.
I said the crowd is unarmed. There are lots of women and children down there. All they want is food, for God's sake.
A few fisticuffs later, and Richards is carrying massive steel beams in a prison work camp before the opening credits are even over. But don't worry, our hero also escapes before we're done with the opening credits. We next see him hiding out with some of the resistance, idealistic musicians like Mick Fleetwood, who might actually be playing himself. Ben, however, is a loner and wants nothing to do with the resistance.
Meanwhile, in the book, Ben Richards lives in poverty. He's been blacklisted because he complained about working conditions. So, unable to find work or afford medicine for a sick baby daughter, he turns to the Games Network. The state-sponsored network features games like Treadmill for Bucks, where folks with bad hearts or asthma try to answer trivia questions while keeping pace with an ever-quickening treadmill. Or Dig Your Own Grave, which is pretty self-explanatory. And, of course, The Running Man.
The movie, meanwhile, has a similar TV show.
Oh, hey, read this copy.
Right, okay. This difference is brought to you by Climbing for Dollars, a dark satirical look at the future of competition-based reality TV. Climbing for Dollars. Don't let those dogs kill you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Book Ben is not quite the loner that his movie counterpart is. He's got a wife and daughter for one, but he's also still politically motivated. He's bitter and resentful at the current regime, rightfully blaming the government and their freebie for the current state of affairs.
Now let's talk about the differences in the game itself. In the movie, the Running Man is cast with criminals.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
If they can survive for 3 hours and make it through all 4 game quadrants, they get a full government pardon. The arena, made up of neighborhoods which were destroyed and abandoned in the Great Quake of '97, is also populated by stalkers, killers with outlandishly themed costumes somewhere between wrestling gimmicks and American gladiators, like Professor Sub-Zero and Buzzsaw and Captain Freedom. The stalkers are even cast with former wrestlers and professional athletes, which is a freaky little glimpse into the future, a society in which celebrity is earned exclusively through violence and physical dominance, while artistic achievement is censored and made illegal. Doesn't seem so far-fetched that...
Sorry, I got something caught in my throat. We can't talk about that. They're listening. Meanwhile, in the book, The Running Man is a very different game, beginning with the casting process. First, it starts with people volunteering. The whole point of the Games Network is to make the impoverished masses feel like they have a chance to win some new dollars. So lines full of meek and desperate people file into the network games building every day, hoping to land on a show that pays out. After a medical, physical, and mental screening program, the applicants are weeded out or assigned to a show. Ben Richards, considered an anti-authoritarian dissident in reasonably good physical condition, makes it through a 3-day application process.
The game itself is also very different. Contestants in the book version of The Running Man have to survive for 30 days, but they're allowed to travel literally anywhere in the world. And it's not broadcast live either. Richards is required to record and then mail in video cassettes every day, otherwise he forfeits. Meanwhile, the Hunters, led by the notorious Evan McCone, who... Wait, what's that?
They're hunters.
Yeah, but why is that one a mop?
He's not actually a mop, he's a mop guy. He kills you and then cleans it up. Great sponsorship opportunities.
Okay, but in the book, the hunters don't have fun themes like they do in the movie. They're just regular human bounty hunters. Since the game takes place out in the world, they have to blend in with the population in order to sneak up on the Running Men.
I know. Mop guy stays, though.
Alright, fine. Look, regardless of who the hunters are, they're good at their job. The current record for a Running Man staying alive is around 8 days. But for every hour he manages to stay alive, Richards will earn $100 new. He also gets bonuses for killing cops, and if he makes it the entire 30 days, he wins the grand prize of $1 billion new.
This difference brought to you by the number 1 billion. Unless you're talking about stars or sand or Skittles or something, it might as well be a made-up number. Look at all those zeros!
In the movie, The Running Man is produced and hosted by Damon Killian, played amazingly by the Family Feud's own Richard Dawson. Again, the choice to cast an actual game show host makes the world of The Running Man feel that much more realistic. I mean...
Dude, you gotta stop doing that. They have my family. In the book, however, Dan Killian is just the show's executive producer, not the host. As far as the book is concerned, though, he's still Richards' main antagonist. And once Richards is in the game, he's completely on his own. His stint on The Running Man takes him from Co-op City, which is somewhere like Cleveland-ish, to New York, Boston, and of course, because it's a Stephen King novel, all over Maine, including the fictional town of Derry, where Pennywise the Clown lives. Richards poses as an old man with buck teeth and later as a mostly blind priest. He also blows up a YMCA in Boston when the hunters get the drop on him. Then some kids in a local gang help him escape, but not before educating him on the current state of pollution. Turns out the gang sneaks into libraries for rich folks and learns all kinds of stuff about the government's actions and how they're literally poisoning people, as well as how they're covering it up. Richards even records a few rants about the problems on his daily cassettes the network re-edits, in the way that ICS frames Richards in the movie.
Which is a monstrous move, putting different words in somebody's mouth to make it seem like they're saying something they're really not, so that they seem like the bad guy. It's a valuable lesson in being able to question the things that you're seeing.
We would never do anything like that here on CineFix, nor do we think anybody in any position of authority would ever do that. You should probably just believe what you see all the time, okay? Thanks. Bye!
So please take everything that I've just said very seriously. Movie Richards, meanwhile, is saddled with Laughlin and Weiss, the two members of the resistance he escaped from prison with, as well as Amber Mendez, the woman he took hostage earlier in the movie who got busted while trying to swipe the video evidence that proves Richards' Butcher of Bakersfield video was edited to make him look like a killer.
Ooh, I got a copy of that too.
Okay. This difference brought to you by labels. Clearly labeling your incriminating evidence since sometime in the 1800s, probably.
That's a good one. I love labels.
Yeah, who doesn't? So now we get to the interesting stuff, the why of it all. In the movie, Ben and his resistance buddies track down the source of the network's broadcast signal. It was in the Running Man arena, which is why the resistance couldn't find it before. Ben, seeing a chance to do some good, decides to stop being a loner and joins the aged-up drummer of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band Fleetwood Mac to take down the network and their fake news.
Meanwhile, in the book, Ben never finds a new mission. He never has any illusions that he'll ultimately survive the Running Man. His purpose is to solely live long enough to earn money that will go back to his wife and daughter. He, like his movie counterpart, holds a woman hostage, forcing Amelia Williams to drive him through Maine, and it's here that Ben proves to be a cagey and resourceful runner. He uses the network's media coverage against them, basically publicizing his whereabouts and the fact that he's got a hostage. When everybody turns out to watch the motorcade, O.J. Simpson style, a class war breaks out between the rich on one side of the street and the poor on the other, and the cops in between.
And this is really the difference between these two versions of the story. In the movie, Ben Richards is a reluctant hero for a resistance that's just trying to get the truth on the airwaves again, fighting against a network that's pacifying a bloodthirsty audience into submission.
Don't touch that die.
The book, meanwhile, goes a whole level deeper. The game's network is designed to keep men like Ben Richards down, to make sure dissidents are seen as enemies of the state, while the state continues policies that literally kill the poor.
Ultimately, Movie Ben gets a happy ending. He kills the bad guy, gets the girl, and walks off into the sunset hallway. But for Book Ben, his ending isn't so happy. He makes his way to the Derry jetport where he bluffs his way onto a jet claiming to have a whole crap ton of explosives when it's actually just Amelia's purse stuffed into his jacket. And as he makes his final stand on the jet, he learns that his wife and daughter were killed by an angry mob over a week ago, almost immediately after Ben started his run.
So without a reason to keep running, Ben decides he's done. He kills the plane crew, including Chief Hunter Evan McCone, and takes a beating while he does it. His guts are literally spilling out of his belly by the end. Ben pilots the jet into the Games Network building, and Killian, in the split second before the plane reaches his office, can swear that he sees Ben Richards giving him the finger.
So what are we left with? The film version is pretty standard 1980s action fare, with some surprisingly prescient themes about the power of information. If you control the message that reaches the masses, you control the masses. But Movie Ben actually wins. The book has a less hopeful ending, changing the message of the novel to something more like it might be too late. There might actually be no real win for the little guy against an authoritarian state that... Are you not going to clear your throat and cut me off?
What? Oh, sorry, I tuned out there when I got super depressed about stuff. Hey, can I hide out here for a while until this whole parking ticket thing blows over?
Yeah. Whatever you need, man. The couch folds out. That'll do it for this episode, but be sure to subscribe to CineFix for more What's the Difference?
This episode of What's the Difference is brought to you by fold-out couches, letting your deadbeat buddies hide out till the heat's off since, I don't know. Hey, when did they invent the fold-out couch? What? No, we've had them longer than that.